Yo guys, what is up? Welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be discussing the main event in Fight Night, Frankie Edgar versus Pedro Munoz, and the daylight robbery that it was. Another prime example of terrible MMA judging right in front of our eyes. I mean, this card on a whole was a shitfest. It really was the night of the underdogs. If you betted on this card, congratulations to you because you've got some hefty cash coming in. Agapova lost, Austin Hubbard lost, Munoz lost, Timur Valiev lost, Lemos lost. I mean, really was the night of the underdogs. These cards do tend to deliver. It's just a shame the main event had to wrap up the card in such a terrible way. Let's dive into it. So, as you can see here, Pedro Munoz led the fight on significant strikes in rounds 1, 3, 4, and 5. The new judging criteria that was adopted fairly recently in the grand scheme of things, not that long ago, prioritizes significant damage, so significant strikes over everything else. So significant damage trumps all, be that octagon control, be that takedowns, be that total strikes, whatever it is, significant damage comes above all of it. And Pedro Munoz led on significant damage. I don't know how the judges can continue to ignore their own criteria and rebel against the hindmive and just do their own thing. I don't know how many times it's going to have to happen. I mean, I would put this decision on the same caliber in terms of daylight robberies as Dominic Reyes versus John Jones. That's genuinely how bad this decision was. It's stupid. How many times is this going to have to happen? And the fact that people have actually made arguments to suggest that Frankie Edgar won this fight or that this fight was remotely close speaks for itself. The toxicity and the bias and the just blatant ignorance in modern day MMA, be that amongst fighters, be that amongst fans, be that amongst the judges. It's ridiculous and it needs to stop. Now, there's only two arguments that can be made about this fight, which is, did Munoz win 4-1 or did he win 3-2? The 3-2 argument, take your pick. You know, people, you either argue against round 5 or you argue against round 1 for the 3-2 pick. In my opinion, if you're going to argue against any, it would be round 1. Round 1 was close. It was certainly closer than round 5. You could make the argument for round 5 because Munoz did hurt Edgar at the end with a leg kick. Edgar was clearly limping. So that's the only arguments that can be made. There is no possible point of view you can put across that in any way, shape or form suggests Frankie Edgar even remotely won this fight or that it was close. And I saw this coming in between each round and at the end of the fight before the decision came in. All the clips used were in Edgar's favour. And it was just like a bell going off. It was like, ding, here we go again. I mean, there's people in the community on the tier of the Weasel here on YouTube, in the MMA community on YouTube, who have made the argument to suggest that this wasn't a robbery and that this was a close fight. It was not a close fight. These are the stats. These are the official numbers after the fight, not the bullshit numbers that come up during the fight or at the end. These are the official numbers tallied up after the fight. Look at that. Look at the red. The red is in front for 4 rounds. Significant damage trumps everything under the new system. There's no ifs and buts. There's no added stipulations. There's no, but he did this, he did that. No, that's the criteria. Pedro Munoz led on the criteria. The only argument you can make is whether it was 4-1 or 3-2. I had it 4-1. Could see why people would lean towards 3-2. I had it 4-1. And that's all there is to it. I'm not going to talk anymore, because the longer I talk, the more pissed off I'm going to get, because this needs to stop. Needs to stop. I don't know whether these judges are snorting lines backstage. I don't know whether they're doing shots of Jack Daniels. I don't know what they're doing, but it needs to stop, because if not, it's going to continue on and on and on, and more fighters are getting robbed. And put yourself in the shoes of these fighters who've gone through a camp, right? They've gone through the stress of a camp. They've done all this work just to go in there, put on a performance, win the fight, and then be robbed at the end of it. Have the decision go the other way. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Judges get a grip. Fans who side with the decision get a grip. Rewatch the fight as many times as you need to see that this was a robbery. I don't feel like people who make this argument genuinely believe it, because if you believe it, there's something not wired up right somewhere. I just think they've either read somewhere or they've watched a video from somebody, and they might not have even watched the fight, and they've just sided with that narrative because they want to cause drama. I don't know. Either way, I'm going to stop talking, because the longer I go on, the more annoyed I'm going to get. Leave in the comments what you thought. Did you have it 3-2? Did you have it 4-1? Leave that below. Leave your opinions on the bollocks judging that continues and continues. Leave a like, helps massively, lets me know that you enjoy the content I'm putting out. Subscribe, that'd be an added bonus. And I'll catch you guys next time.